Lancaster County was more typically an owner-occupied county through the decades, with a proportion of the population living in rental units, usually until they could afford to buy a house. Now people choose to rent for a lot of different reasons, because they're only going to be here for a while, because they want to live in the city, because they don't really want to own a home. As more people want to rent and the supply does increase, then there's that push and you get the very low rates of available apartments, so people are paying more. Sometimes they're pushed to a community they really don't want to live in.
My fiance and I, we had an apartment up on East King Street in the 1400 block, and it was around that time that I was attending Lancaster Bible College. But I'm a type 2 diabetic. I had a lot of physical setbacks, things that were happening that I didn't expect nor anticipate, which interfered with me being able to finish college as well as working on a regular basis. And so we didn't not pay our rent, but we were falling behind. And I wound up at the Veterans Outreach Center down at the TLC. And I found out I was eligible for assistance to a veterans program for homeless veterans. And they put us together with a landlord over in Columbia. It wasn't the most ideal situation, but the best thing we could do out of being homeless.
The landscape in Lancaster County is great if you are an apartment owner. It's not so great if you're an apartment renter. Because we're a desirable place to live, the stock of housing is getting to be in a shortage. What we call the A-type and B-type apartments, which are, as you might imagine, they're graded. If you can afford to live in the A, you always want to live in the A. The B's usually a nice place, it's safe. And the C, you're starting to accept some compromises in size and location and amenities. Market rate is just that. It's the nice places and whoever can afford that. Affordable has a number of different meanings. To some people, it means there's some kind of they're subsidized in some manner through government, and there's different programs that do that. And sometimes affordable is just affordable. It's that apartment that you said, well, I finally found a place that has 5 sets of steps and it's not in a very good neighborhood, but I can afford it.
Affordable is a relative term as far as what I may think is affordable versus what other people out there deem as affordable. It may be to fit your budget, as limited as it is, but it's a far cry from where you'd really want to move to if you had a choice. And so you wind up being somewhere you have to be, not necessarily someplace you want to be.
So if we have a shortage, we need to build more. If this is just a market question and I look and I say, wow, we need A-type apartments, I'm going to go build a bunch because the customers are out there. Or if we need affordable, why wouldn't I build affordable if there's a bunch of those customers out there that there's some way to pay for it? And one of the problems is, in some cases, building the building is only half the cost of a new development. To develop a new apartment community, a new housing community, you have to put in streets, you have to put in all kinds of pipes that carry water and sewer and storm. You have to pay recreational fees so that you don't flood the systems that are in that township. You have to go to the Army Corps of Engineers, you have to go to the State Department of Environmental Protection, get permits from all of them. And these are all necessary things. If I'm making a decision between building an A apartment and a C or an affordable apartment, and I said, I'm going to build affordable, I've got to spend all those costs to build the affordable. And that little bit of difference in putting the granite countertop or the big, beautiful windows in the A unit, the market rate unit, does not cover the gap that exists between the two amounts of rents that the group can pay. First of all, we have 60 municipalities, and every municipality has its own rules, its own zoning laws. You also have neighbors, and everybody has an idea about what they want to see come in next as their neighbor. So if you don't have enough affordable housing, the worst impact is you could end up homeless, where you have to be able to match up your transportation costs, your housing costs, and the job you have. And if those don't all match up, you can't live where you want to live.
We don't have a vehicle. I just catch the bus, and it takes me right past there. I had to take an 11 to 7 schedule though, because that was the only way I could assure myself of being able to arrive on time for that shift. And then when I got off at 7 in the morning, the buses run all day, so I just catch the bus and come on back home.
There are a significant number of people that are spending more than 30% on their apartment. And when you add in transportation, they can be spending 50% or more in living and getting to their jobs.
The current wage scale, okay, as it stands right now, doesn't make anything affordable. Right now, there's agencies here, there's plenty of work. When you're working for $7.25 an hour, and you're putting in 10, 12 hours a day, okay, and you don't make enough, the rent, utilities, food, even a cell phone, if you have a vehicle, gasoline, you still wind up in the red. And that's frustrating, to bust your tail day in and day out, sometimes 7 days a week, and you're going nowhere fast, as they say.
There's a lot of ways to approach the problem. We have really strong nonprofits here in Lancaster County. We're really blessed with people who give and people who get involved with their time. We have Tabor Community Services, we have LHOP, Lancaster Housing Opportunity Partners. We have two groups, HDC and Community Basics, that build affordable apartment communities.
It's hard to find a decent, affordable place to live. Until it's more attainable for people like me to get quote unquote affordable, decent housing, the problem is going to still exist where people are going to be paying ridiculous prices for substandard living.
Let's examine all the solutions, because there isn't one silver bullet. We need to work with public opinion, we need to work with private infrastructure, we need to try to use our government money wisely and secure that wisely so that we can approach the problem from a lot of different angles and make the community strong like it's always been.